Okay, here we are. You guys asked for it by popular demand. Haircut with Mel #2. It's been 7 years. Woo!
Is this like a 7-year curse or something?
No. It's just being in Nashville. I don't get haircuts. This has been. Oh, let me take my headset off. This has been probably. I think I went to this angry barber in Nashville because he had so many angry reviews about how mad he gets when people park in his spaces. And so I wanted to support him because rightfully so, he needs his parking spaces. All he has is 2 parking spaces or 3 for his customers.
Yeah, I used to have that in my, last
Yeah.
vacation, Magnolia and Laurel. The jeweler used to put a sign up parking for him only, and nobody had designated parking.
Right.
So everybody got pissed at him. So we're gonna take your bulk off here, eh?
Oh yeah, go. If you go too short, we'll just shave it. So don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But I don't want you to have to cut it twice. I just want to pretend like I'm going into the military. You know, somebody said I went on a job.
What are you doing? Because I remember when you were a driver.
Yeah, I'm driving. I'm semi-retired. I don't need to work. I just work because I want to work. Kind of like you. So I went on a job, and it was this big-time guy, and he had this super nice transportation trailer. And he called the guy that I was operating his equipment. He's like, I really like this guy. He's got short hair, not like all the other guys you send me with long hair. And I had just seen you for the military cut. This is about 2015, 16. You know what time that was, when I was working. And I thought, how interesting that 2 weeks ago he would have judged me as a long hair.
Right.
And today, all of a sudden, I'm acceptable. So now that things are slow, I thought, you know what, I'll just cut it off and I'll be a long hair in disguise. So how are you doing? Have you been on any cruises or are you going on vacations?
I think the last place I was in Costa Rica last November.
Uh-huh.
My wife, she does a lot of traveling. Her daughter takes her every year for her birthday, which is in September.
Right.
But this year she took her in October because the airfares were cheaper. And she takes her out of the country every year. For the last 5 years, she took her to, let's see, first Greece, then Spain, then
Greece
Portugal,
is neat. Yeah.
then Sweden. And
that's great.
She got back last Wednesday from London. So
wow.
I've done a lot of traveling in my life, and as well as cruising, which I used to do a lot of. So, you know, I'm like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. Click my heels and say there's no place like home. So,
you know?
I enjoy California.
Yeah.
You know, any other states are dealing with cold weather or
it's freezing.
terrible humidity. So maybe half the cost of living to live those places.
Yeah.
But you pay for it in other ways. So, and here you have the congestion and the homeless, and you know, this isn't a bed of roses either.
Yeah. Now everybody asks me how Nashville is. I go, well, it's the weather. You know, don't forget that. Nashville's great, but the weather is why we all live here. So.
Okay. Now we're going to take you down.
All right. Make it hurt. You know, I never got to join the military, but every once in a while. And when you cut it really high and tight and give me that military look like you have once or twice before, it really grows out nice. And, you know, in about a year, it's the best haircut I've ever had. You said, you taught me this one. Everybody for YouTube, what's the difference between a good haircut and a bad haircut? What is it, Mel?
It's 2 weeks.
About 2 weeks.
She goes 6 months, so I mean.
That's a bet. No, but your joke was your statement was spot on. About 2 weeks.
Well, that's usually the case. Yeah.
Yeah. But I've never gotten a bad haircut. Mel, you were the only one that would listen and just cut a ½ inch off the back of my hair if I wanted a ½
Well,
inch.
you know, that's well. First, I had actually gone to cosmetology school.
Right.
I was a little misdirected myself that this real famous hairstylist who got killed in the Charles Manson murders. His name was Jay Sebring. And he had a shop right up from my high school in West LA, and all the little rich kids used to go there.
Wow.
Movie stars. So I was an art major in college, and I thought, you know, I like crafts, but I can't draw people. You know, I can do stick people. So
Right.
I ain't gonna make it in commercial art. So I went to cosmetology school because he was a beautician, and then I found out he just taught himself.
Really?
So I liked cutting hair. I felt like I was a technician, but I didn't like doing women's hair, the comb outs and all that. I wasn't a comb out artist. I was just a good hair cutter. So then I went to barber school.
Right.
So I ended up getting both licenses, and that really helped me because then I could color permanently, do everything else in men's hair that barbers didn't know how to do at the time. And when I got out of the service after the Vietnam era,
Yeah.
guys were wearing hair like what you just came in.
Right.
And barbers didn't know what to do with long hair because they're used to short hair. So I had an advantage a little bit
Yeah.
of that knowledge.
Well, that makes sense. I remember that big muscle guy. He had long hair, and I met him, and he's the one that referred me to you when you were on Magnolia.
Well, I've done a few of those in my life, so.
Yeah. Now, when I asked him, I said, "How'd you grow your hair so long, and who trims it?" And he's like, "Oh, go see Mel." Like, all right. But I didn't go see Mel.
Now
Because, no, because actually I think I was told to go see Dave.
Yeah, Dave. Yeah.
And Dave was your little brother or big brother, kind of,
Yeah,
right?
we worked 37 years
Oh.
together, and we alternate Mondays. And I had a guy come work at my shop that I used to work with him at another shop later on.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you know, it's funny. Some of Dave's customers, they come to me, we alternate Mondays. So they come on me on the Monday that Dave doesn't work because they don't want to feel embarrassed being around.
It was the same thing.
And no, I'm saying this to this guy, Ben. And Ben says, well, did you ever think of how many people come to him on your Monday when you're not here? And I said, yeah, I never put the shoe on the other foot yet, yeah. So I'm gonna trim your sides up, but your top is, well, you can see how long
It's
you
fine.
go.
It's fine.
It's not that
It's
long.
fine.
You're not totally spikeable, but with this, you get lift on your
Okay.
hair. You know
All
what I
right. All right.
mean?
I just, how much would you charge me to fly to Nashville? $1,000 for the day. I'll pick the airfare. Because it is
Well,
just.
that would be definitely an interesting thing to put on my 54-year resume of cutting hair. You know?
Well, you know,
I mean, I always wanted to be like the barber who stopped the airflow at LAX to cut Clinton's hair one time. Got on the jet and cut his hair.
Really?
Yeah.
It's just so, like, I don't like haircuts to begin with. And so it's a given that
That's a little obvious.
I'm not going to like it. But it's, what's worse is I don't want to go to a place and just get a bad haircut. I mean, when you find a good dentist or a good barber or a good doctor, you know, that's all I want to use.
Well, some people, you know, haircut thing isn't a big priority in their life, you know what I mean?
Now, in the back, Mel, you can go extra high because I've got a cowlick back there. So if you go extra tight, at least it'll look good for a couple weeks because a cowlick's going to be impossible. Yeah, I mean, I think it stemmed from childhood trauma. We were poor growing up on welfare in Van Nuys. So once a year I got a butch to save money.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just so traumatic for me.
So that was usually the haircut to give your children in the summertime, you know?
Yeah. We lived a couple blocks from Victory and Van Nuys Boulevard, and there was a hair chopping place there, and we'd go get it chopped off. I think I'd cry like a girl for a while, but
Yeah, I don't know. Even when I was a child, I didn't want my hair as short as what my mother wanted, and it was just probably, you know, just for economic reasons that they would cut your hair shorter so you wouldn't have to go back so soon.
That's what it.
But
That's what
you
it
know,
was.
to you, I was really in my hair as a kid. I'll never forget. I had what we used to call a waterfall. You'd sweep up this side and sweep up this side into a little peak in the front.
Really?
Yeah, it looked like one of those gang guys, greasers,
That's
or what
funny.
they used to call back then, you know? Or have a big pompadour. But it was funny. I really was in my hair as a kid.
Heck, I got ear hair now. I'd like to come once a week and have my ear hair taken off. It's terrible.
I had this old guy in his 90s. He was a writer, and he told me, "You never lose your hair." And I go, "Really?" He said, "Yeah. Goes underneath your scalp, comes out your ears, your nose, and your eyebrows."
It's
I go,
the truth.
That's where my hair went. Yeah.
Wish there was some wax or something I could just put on my ear to pull those things out.
You
But
know,
I
they
just,
do have some kind of thing. I was thinking of moving my shop or moving myself.
mm-hmm.
And I went to this one lady's shop, and she would put something in their ear, and then she just pull it out.
Yeah,
So it was probably like a wax that hardened real quick. I can
yeah.
only imagine that it was warm when she put it in there, and when it cooled down, it contract and pull
Right.
out of the hair when they plucked it out. But you know, essentially what I'm doing right now, that's kind of,
Yeah,
you know,
no,
giving
yeah.
those little clippers yourself.
Yeah, that's what I use. It's just I get lazy and forget. And then I only think about my ear hair when I notice another guy with ear hair.
I had one client all the years. I mean, I've had a lot of people have hair in their ears, but I swore he almost had more hair coming out of his ears than he had on his head. And I wonder, how do you hear? Yeah. Yeah, some people have some kind of
Oh.
genetic trait that others don't. I had one guy whose neck hair went right into his beard,
Oh.
and you never see that. Usually, nature separates.
Yeah.
The weirdest thing I ever saw in my life, when I got drafted in the service and went up to Fort Ord, California for basic training.
Right.
And I got to what they call the reception center, where they cut all your hair off and they, you know, give you your uniforms and test you, see what you're gonna be.
Right.
And this one guy had these real deep-seated wrinkles in his forehead. And I've seen people like that in their necklines where you
Right,
see a fold,
yes.
but I never saw it. And then when they cut his hair off, he looked like an illustration of the human brain.
Really?
Yeah, he had those deep-seated wrinkles on his whole head.
Wow.
And in a way where when they cut his hair, they couldn't get into the wrinkle. So all those wrinkles were dark, so it highlighted all those little lines.
Wow.
I swear, he looked like an illustration of the human brain. And I wonder, I never saw a person in that condition in my life.
How do you do such a great job? It just blows my mind.
Well, you know, it's kind of checks and balances. You check and you recheck what
Right.
you do.
What year did you start cutting hair or go to
Wow.
school?
1967.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Even had my first wife go to school with me, and she went out when I went to beauty school. She went to manicuring school, and she was a manicurist for I don't know how many years. Now, the Vietnamese pretty much taken that over in the United States.
Yeah.
It's like Filipinos are nurses, kind of a
Yes.
stereotype for certain ethnic groups.
The Filipinos, they're interesting because they have culturally a caring, they like to care for the older people.
really. I lived with one for 15 years. I know.
Yeah.
And
amazing.
I'll tell you one thing that blew me away. I went to a charity. I'm going to bring your sideburns up a little bit.
Sure, yeah. Take it off. Make
I
it.
went to a charity benefit at Bonaventure downtown Los Angeles.
Uh-huh.
A Filipino thing. and there may be, 100 people there, and they started playing music, and everybody got up to dance.
Yeah.
And if it was Caucasians,
No.
maybe 25% would get on the dance floor. They got boogie, they got rhythm,
Yeah.
and it's all that Spanish influence in their culture.
Yeah.
The Latin music, and their term is they like to boogie.
I worked at the Arbat restaurant, which is a Russian Armenian restaurant in Glendale.
Oh, okay.
And I'd be surprised. We'd have 300 to 400 people a night for 4 hours sitting at dinner.
Uh-huh.
And the age range was from 2 years old to 90 years old, and they would all dance.
Really?
And it was just so great.
Yeah, I went to, my wife works for an Armenian doctor,
Mm-hmm.
and they got this kind of thing with their hands
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
dance,
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of cultures. We're kind of Victorian, we don't do a lot of shit,
No.
In fact, the younger people, they don't hardly dance at all. Some of them, they got the rhythm, but the importance in dating and doing stuff, dancing isn't one of them.
Yep.
But the nightclubs that they do go to, oh my God, they're so damn expensive. Like $800 for a table and $200 for the bottle service, and.
But that's a racket. That was the rich people, and these young posers try to pretend like they're rich.
Yeah.
Vegas started that too. In Vegas, you go get a cabana. It's like
That's
a
right.
cabana. Are you kidding? Where's the free beach?
I agree with you. In fact, that's the first one I ever went to. One of my clients is doing pretty well in business, and we went up to Vegas, and we were at the at the Bellagio,
Right.
and got me a real nice room. In fact, I was on the 26th floor, and during the fountains going off,
Right.
the fountain at one time went beyond my floor.
Wow.
26 stories high it shut.
Wow.
Anyway, so we went to a new refurbished club in the Bellagio called the Bank, and we're waiting. It's 10 o'clock. It's supposed to open. Didn't open till 11. We get in. It's $50 a head, and I go, wow. But that means to go into restaurants that have bands,
Right.
and you never paid to get in. That was my kind of social
Right.
sphere. So it was weird. And I remember there was Adam Sandler, David Spade, and the guy who used to play on King of Queens, and they're sitting at a table smoking cigars. And
Wow.
didn't know any celebrities I saw in there. So I told my friend, well, we're here early, let's get a table. He goes, oh no, a table's $800.
What?
I don't know how he knew that, but
Whoa.
I'm saying, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I used to just go into a club and sit down in my era of clubbing.
It's different.
It was like, and I didn't drink, so I'd carry my drink around like ring all night long.
Yeah.
Yeah, things have changed.
That's for sure.
So I got this one client. I'm just gonna say it's kind of funny. He's put on a few pounds, and he was living with a girl for a while, and she caught him on the phone with a girl from the massage parlor.
Oh no.
So they split up, and now he's dating the girl from the massage parlor, and he wants her to go straight, Yet she's still making so much money.
There's no way you can turn that money down.
Asian girl, and it's just funny. So I tell him, well, I go a couple places dancing now. I go to the Marina Del Rey at the Warehouse. They have music.
Right.
I go to the Smokehouse in Burbank across from Warner Brothers.
Right.
They have live music. I go to Sagebrush Cantina out there in Calabasas. And, I still like to dance. That was always my forte. My mentality was 8 out of 10 men don't like to dance, and 8 out of 10 women do.
Dude,
so that gives
good.
2 guys, 8 women to dance with,
That's right.
So I've carried that into my senior years here, and I still enjoy it. I can't do the moves I used to, but at least the music still moves me.
Yep.
So this guy, I tell him, well, bring this girl, and I took him out one night. He had a ball. He hadn't been out dancing and got himself
That's
out.
great.
But he said, nah, she wants to go to one of those clubs that we were just talking about. Because she's used to that in her age group.
Right. And she's had plenty of people to pay.
Oh, yeah.
I knew this one guy that one of the...
Now, it's not going too many
oh,
places.
no, it's fine. No, I'll just
So,
comb it and spray
yeah.
it.
I mean, to spike you because you're lifting already, and that tells
No, this
me
is good.
that it won't lay down if you take it too much shorter on top.
Yeah, no, it's perfect.
And
There's this one elder that told me about this girl, and she was a working girl, and she wanted to get legit, so she got her massage license. And she went back to being a working girl, so she wanted to get legit, so she got a real estate license. And she tried that, and she went back to being a working girl.
Well,
then
you know,
she went to law school,
Oh,
and she got her JD, passed the bar, so she's got 3 licenses. And guess what she did? She makes $1,000 a day for an hour.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. You can just hold it this way. I hope you don't need glasses to see you in the mirror.
Oh yeah, looks like $1 million bucks.
You know, it's not going
No,
anywhere.
it looks
neckline.
great.
Yeah,
It
it's
looks
not
great.
lifting up, so it's a light taper there. So you know,
I like it. Thank you.
Yeah, I always call this a go out and get a job haircut. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you don't look like you just got inducted into the armed forces. That's a little
No, I'm
extreme.
good.
It's hard to believe you look this way from the way you walked in.
Yeah. No, that's why we have it on video. Now there's evidence.
That's right.
Oh.
Well, what motivated you? Was a lady to move out that way? Or?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
That's always the story. You know it.
That's right.
Oh. If it wasn't for her, I'd still be here.